My friends, hello there. There are lots of little golden gnats. It looks like they just came out of Cartier. They're covered in 24 karat gold just in case. In life, many things shine on the surface, but they're not always gold. So, when you watch videos on YouTube, you have the image like here, look, I'm going to step away from the camera. You see, behind there are pipes. There are pipes as far as the eye can see, some of which sometimes carry boiling water. Be careful. This is no joke. And actually, what you're missing is the smell. It's the sense of smell. Let me tell you a bit about the smell. Right here, that's Wazoo saying hello. So in terms of smell, there's a very strong scent of fermented mango. Why? Because I'm surrounded by mango trees and the mangoes fall. I bought it at White Rose while in the United Kingdom. They were individually wrapped. They were sold for maybe €4 or €5 each, you see. And if they're on the ground, there are plenty of them and they're fermenting. Nobody touches them because apparently there are big bats that are interested in that, and bats have a bad reputation right now. Remember the story about COVID that we barely talked about? So I was telling you that these mango stories show us that life is made up of supply and demand. There is supply and demand. And I think we can ask a 10-year-old child if we tell them what happens when supply increases, what happens to prices when supply increases, the price goes down. Simple. It's very simple. It's a universal law. Lack can end up on the ground. So what I don't want to end up on the ground is you. It's your profile. It's the value that people give you in your company. Actually, if you're too helpful, and that's something you see often, there are plenty of people who contact me, sometimes on the verge of despair. They're too helpful in their company. Sometimes they don't even realize it. They tell me I'm doing what I should. I'm someone who's really a team player. I truly have a team spirit. I help everyone. I take part in everything, all of that. And then, well, when there's a promotion, it's not for me. When there's a raise, it's not for me. I feel mistreated. I feel disrespected. People get promotions and bonuses, and I get sick leave for exhaustion. Let me tell you, it's supply and demand, a universal law that applies at the office too. It's like they say, sometimes we sum it up as too nice, too naive. It works in the company. If you keep giving all the time at your company, if you always say yes, like, oh yes, I'm here, I can help, I'll tell you what you're communicating. You're communicating two things. The first thing is availability. You're extremely available, and you know what people say. We don't really say it, we feel it. Sometimes there are things you communicate without meaning to, or maybe even unconsciously to people. It's like my opening fly that's made by Cartier, which in the north is 24 carats. There are plenty of people who will interpret that. Well, the interpretation is always there. When you act, whether you act physically or verbally, you say things or you do things. Well, when you're always helpful, always available right away, it gives the feeling that you have nothing to do. You have nothing to do and aren't busy. And what does it mean when you're not busy in a company? Really, it means you're useless. So I'm not telling you that you're useless, but I'm telling you that's the perception you give yourself. Because, well, someone who is useful, there are people who cultivate that mindset or that image of being busy. They're always running around. They've got AirPods in their ears. They talk fast. I'm in a hurry, go ahead, my schedule, all that. They're signaling around C. That's a strategy. It's a communication strategy. Even if they spend their time playing free cell on their screen, they still communicate that they're busy. Maybe they're actually busy, and what are you doing? You always want to help. You're always ready to take on more. You're always willing to skip a break. You're always ready to work overtime. But at the same time, you're saying they're useless and not good for anything. You see what I mean? And in companies, it doesn't work based on reality. It works based on perception. If I catch one of these flies and give it to them, they'll say it's made of gold. You see, that's how they are. So you have to play on that. So for example, I'm not telling you to say no. I'm not telling you to say no, but I'm telling you to value the help you give. You absolutely have to value it. And by the way, actually, between us, it's valid, even in everyday life. It doesn't just work in the office, but that's another story. But here, are we really talking about the office? If, for example, you're asked to help, your supervisor comes and says, yes, your colleague is out sick. Can you help with this project? Well, you're not going to say, yes, I'll help. No, you're going to say, okay, listen, potentially I need to check my calendar. You see, so first you have to check your calendar. I'm going to say that's professional. I have to check my calendar. And then, listen, yes, I could, but we'll have to change the priorities of other things. That means, I had this project. We have to deliver it by the end of the month. What's the real priority of this project? Do we really have to deliver it by the end of the month? Because if I have to step in and help, I can, but we'll have to rebalance a number of things. That means either you take this project away from me and give it to someone else, or this project, maybe we'll extend its deadline. Instead of finishing it at the end of this month, we'll finish it in the middle of next month. For example, you see, always create a conditional situation. Don't be the guy who jumps in right away. Yes, I'll do it, okay? Very important. It gives the impression of being busy. And from time to time, you have to know how to say no. It happened to me to say no, but you know what? Well, no, I can't. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. That's just my life. Take a look at my calendar. I'll share it with you. Let me know where you think it fits. All right, it's not possible. It's just not possible today, okay? I would like to. It's not that I don't want to. I would really like to help the team. But the thing is, today, well, this month, I've reached a level of saturation. Next month, I can help you next month. Yes, next month. I think there are a lot of projects that I'll have finished by then. If this project, what you're asking me, can wait, if it can wait, of course, I'd be happy to help. But right now, today, just like that, you're asking me point blank. Last second, no, I have to say no. Check with so-and-so, and you know what? And that's where it messes with your head. And you know why? Because quite simply, like I told you, the corporate world is an inverted cross. You know it. We've talked about it several times. All the values are reversed. All the values. Okay, so if you think like a decent man or woman, if you think because you grew up in an honorable family and you grew up with people who work, who value good faith and all that, I mean, you're screwed. You won't exist with those people. They'll eat you alive, okay? They'll eat you alive. That's why I'm here talking to you. That's the reason I'm talking to you. Actually, you have to. When I started pushing back, well, people respected me more, surprisingly. Okay. As soon as I say no, well, they start saying, be careful, he's too busy, his time is important, think twice before talking to him. And all that, they value you, they even give you more money, surprisingly. As I began saying no more often, I started getting more bonuses because they saw I was standing my ground and wanted to motivate me. And maybe to push him to give even more to the company, let's give him even more money. That's it, that's all. It's as simple as that. It's not unfortunate, but that's how it is. Anyway, my friends, thank you for watching this video until now. It really makes me happy to share this with you. I'm on a mission, that's it. I'm not here by chance, and I'm glad it helps so many people. They show their appreciation when I meet them or get messages, and I feel it's truly made a difference. There are a lot of people who tell me that they've been watching my content for years, and I've been able to grow. In my company, I earn more money, and honestly, that makes me very, very happy. Because, I fight against these companies. Let's be clear about that. I'm not here to be, how should I put it? I'm not someone who sugarcoats things in what I say. I'm at war with these companies, okay? And my war is about making sure you get the most money from them, okay? That's it. That makes me happy. When you go ask for more money, okay, they want more work, go ask for more money, do me a favor, okay, write to me, tell me, look, I got a raise, look, I got 10,000 euros, I'm really happy. That's it, and it makes me happy, that's all. To know that you're taking money from them, that's how it is. Thank you, my friends, once again, and I'll see you in the next one. See you very soon.